My
So,
next some introduction that will happen.
yeah, good morning, and to everybody in the United States. Good evening to people in India and around the world. And we're very happy today to have our Pravachana Malika talk number 27. The talk is on Nano-Ayurvedic Medicine, a pathway for global wellness, and we're very, very excited to invite Dr. Kattesh Katti from the University of Missouri. He is a Curator's Professor of Radiology, and a Curator's Professor is the highest distinction given by the university. And he's also the Director of the Institute of Green Nanotechnology within the medical school. And he's going to be speaking. And before that, we have a Veda Kusumanjali by the students and Sangeeta Anjali today by Kavya. She's ready here. And my father, Dr. Prabhakar, will introduce the speaker. And then we have a couple of very distinguished professionals, clinical professionals, Dr. Neeraj Arora and Papaya Sripada, who will give us concluding remarks and vote of thanks. So we'll begin with the Veda Kusumanjali. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Gananaam Tva Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupavashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanan Brahmanaspata Anashunvannotibhis Siddhasadhanam Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Bhadrang Karnebhih Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraha Sthirairangai Stuštuvagum Sastanubhihi Vyasema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Ruddhashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastarksyo arishthanemihi Swasti no bruhaspatir dadhatu Om Shanti 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 Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So today we have this talk on health, wellness, and again, not just thinking about ourselves, our community, but we're talking about global wellness. So these invocation prayers represent the global wellness. So before I invite Kavya to present her invocation, I want to play a small clip again, which is very significant for today's talk in terms of the discussions we'll be having. So it is the Mahamantra of Dhanvantri.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantraye Amrita Kalasha Hastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Vasudevaya Dhanvantraye Amritakalashahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.
So now I request Kavya, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Kavya. I'll be singing Sri Gananatham Bhajare in Devakriya Ragam, Rupakatalam. Shri Gananadam Vajare Chita Parashakti-yutam Shri Gananadam Vajare Chita Parashakti-yutam Shri Gananadam Vajare Nagayagna Sutradharo Nagayagna Sutradharo Nadalayanandakaram Nagayagna Sutradharo Nadalayanandakaram Shri Gananadam Vajare Agamadi Sannutam Akila Loka Pujitam Agamadi Sannutam Akila Loka Pujitam Yogi Shali Bhavitam Yogi Shali Sevitam Yogi Shali Bhavitam Yogi Shali Sevitam Ragadveshadi Rahitaramani Yahridaya Buditam Ragadveshadirahitamani Yahridaya Buditam Shri Guru Guha Samuditam Chinmula Kamalastitam Shri Guru Guha Samuditam Chinmula Kamalastitam Shri Gananadam Vajare Chita Parashakti-yutam Shri Gananadam Vajare. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavya.
Thank you, Kavya. I'm so happy you sang this song, which is one of my favorite songs. Appreciate it. Nana, can you please invite the speaker and introduce him?
So
Yes.
we have a nice Vedic beginning, Vedic chanting, Veda mantras, invoking Bhadram Karnebhihi. Also, we have a mantra of Dhanvantari, who is the doctor of doctors, who has got the Amrita Kalashas in both of his hands. And ultimately, he is the healer, he is the curer, and he is the designer, and he is the all in all. So, Dhanvantaraye Namaha. And today we have got a wonderful speaker, a great scientist, and well known in the world of science and technology and all that. And his biodata, as he sent, runs very much long, and it is not possible for me to present. But anyway, we understand that he has been accorded a wonderful title as the father of green nanotechnology in nuclear sciences. And also he has done such an amount of research work that equal to Nobel Prize in nuclear sciences. Probably why equal to, I think he will be getting new Nobel Prize with all the more work that has been done. We pray for that. And again, he is the professor of molecular imaging in the world, and he has been honored by so many people. But he has got 300 publications, 150 inventions, 50 patents, and so on and so forth. But most important is connected to our Sanskrit world or Vedic world. He has a university going by the name Acharanam, that is Indic wisdom. So that Acharanam is important. That is medicine. that is application. And so with all that glorious science and knowledge and practical utility and all that, and I have been asking him, but somehow today is the Subhe Shobhane Muhurtam, though he is not India, not in America, elsewhere, but he is able to join and enlighten us regarding the Ayurvedic medicine, Nano-Ayurvedic medicine, which is taken to be a new medical modality with the Vedic Shastra origins and for a pathway for global wellness, because of this new, that's our Vedic Shastra origins. That is the keynote, because our Vedas and our Veda Rishis are exemplary, and they are source book for several things. All branches of knowledge, all Vidyas have been supplied or promoted or contributed by several thousands and thousands of rupees, rishis, since a time immemorial. Therefore, we are very much proud to call India, not India, as a Bharat, Bharatavarshe. So Bharatavarshe, hundreds of rishis are there, thousands of them, and we have got Upanishadic knowledge also ultimately being endowed. So in that long journey, our Dr. Kattesh, Katti, highly hailing from Dharwad, and he is also one of the rishis, living rishis, who are trying to explore all the knowledge that has been shown in inkling manner also by our Vedic rishis, and starting the Indic wisdom, unique for it. So not praising him much and not appreciating, we'll understand that kind of. Moreover, this nano is an allopathic one. Now is especially cancer treatment and all that. They use, especially when we went to Amrita University in Kerala, we have seen how that nano machine to cure the patients or to find the cancer patients and all that. So anyway, we have got also incidentally 2 neurologists, great doctors, and they will be also making some kind of contribution to the present day topic. And we have also another great Chandra Reddy. He recently took MD degree from Ayurveda from Kerala, besides his being a nuclear, and because himself being a cancer doctor and so on. So with this small introduction, I cannot describe completely. I request Dr. Katti to throw light on this Ayurveda medicine in its varied aspects. No, Ayurveda means Ayurveda has got 4 meanings, because Ayuhu is 5 meanings are there for the word Ayuhu. And in Chamakam, just to add, Dirghayutvam chame namitram chame abhayam chame susha chame sojanam chame yagnena kalpantam. So we ask for Dirghayu. And when we want to have a long life, 100 years minimum, then we can have some substantial name made and contributions made. And therefore, for that, this Ayurveda medicine is very important, and it's a holistic medicine. So this Nano Ayurvedic medicine is very interesting, and we want to know. I don't know anything, but still make some comments on that. We want more knowledge to be thrown to the general public. In a very enlightened sabhas, Dr. Kattesh is being, is contributing, but this is an occasion when all our Vedic students in India and outside, they will be also benefited, and it's coming to the YouTube also. So highly thankful, praying that Dhanvantari. I request Dr. Katti to take the chair. Keynote.
Okay, let me try the screen share. Yes. Prasad, you have to tell me if I am on the screen.
Yeah.
See the first
You're
slide?
on the right screen. Yes,
Okay.
First slide, I can see. Thank you.
First of all, it's a privilege that has been accorded to me by Professor Shri Prabhakar Kalyam. as well as through the contacts that I came to know Pravachana Kalyam through his wonderful son, Prasad Kalyam, who is one of the top-notch faculties at the University of Missouri. We have been very fortunate that we have somebody of the stature of Prasad Kalyam in our institution. And again, as I said, it's a privilege because I deliver, I don't know, 40, 50 lectures, perhaps sometimes more lectures per year everywhere in the world. Right now I'm speaking, if you want to know, I'm speaking from Angers, which is southwest of Paris. I'm here as part of the European Union's assignment as a professor of green nanotechnology in the European Union. So the modern technology doesn't stop us. And again, Pravachana Kalyam, I told him that I'll be in France. He told me that's perfectly all right. You'll be delivering lecture from France. I'm doing exactly that now. Again, thank you. Namaskar for all of you who are joining from different locations. So the first slide shows you I'm basically, trying to replicate what I was asked to deliver about 2 months ago. My wife, Kavita, and I were in Ahmedabad, India, at the request of Prime Minister's office to deliver this G20 lecture during the G20 summit in Ahmedabad. And I chose this my favorite title. You will soon come to know why this has to be a favorite title for almost everybody in the world if they are interested in health and wellness. Every human being is interested in health and wellness. So this Nano-Ayurvedic medicine, you'll soon come to know, what is this about, how this all happened. And we strongly believe that this could potentially be a pathway for global wellness, treating the disease through whole body treatment. The nitty-gritties of this title will be dissected through various different scientific rationale over the next 35 minutes. And also, I would like to thank this tremendous effort organized by Veda Adhyayana Kendra, as well as jointly coordinated through a wider association for Vedic studies, WAVES, chapter located in Bengaluru. Very fortunate that I'm part of your speaker series. If you want me to revisit with you in Bangalore, I will be flying back to Bangalore next week. Yeah. The overall outline is, I just want to show you what this is about, the symbiosis which we have discovered. It has taken close to 30 plus years. It's not a 1 year or 2 year affair. It has taken that long because Ayurvedic medicine has existed for over 5,000 plus years. So we really needed to bring about a scientific rationale for Ayurvedic medicine, which I believe that's the only way we can realize the tremendous medical and well-being potential of this medical field. Ayurvedic medicine relies, its fundamentals and philosophies are embedded in the fact of whole body treatment. Ayurvedic medicine is not about treating symptomatically. Ayurvedic medicine, if properly practiced, it gives the body the strength to treat the disease. That's no other medical modality on this planet has even considered that. That's the depth. That's the huge spectrum of Ayurvedic medicine. We haven't realized the potential of this medicine yet. Then I want to bring about how we are able to connect serendipitously, rather, Our work spanning over 3 decades, as I said, on gold nanotechnology to Ayurvedic medicine. You will see examples of how this medical modality has spun out from doing just the science, how we are able to apply this medical modality, as we say, from bench to bed, including treating COVID patients. I would be preaching to the choir. We have our Shastra Pandit in front of us in the audience, and several are there. At least I know for the fact. Dr. Pravachana Kalyam is there. History of medicine, if some of you didn't know, it actually started within the Indian civilization. It started, the origin of Ayurveda is attributed to Atharvana Veda, where mention is made of several diseases with their treatments. In fact, treatment modalities for various different diseases. Somewhere from the 6th century BC to 7th century AD, there was a systematic development of the science, and it's generally called as Samhita period, where a number of classical works were produced by several authors. And during this period, there is a credible evidence of organized medical care. I know some of you who have joined the lecture have a medical background. When I say medical background, it's always understood that this is the MBBS, the Western style medicine. But it is important today and in the future for all of us to recognize the term medicine. Again, I repeat, the term medicine actually started from Ayurveda. The rest of the planet did not have a clue about medicine. Can you believe that? Ayurveda gave the term medicine to our planet. There is no doubt about that. Yet, Ayurveda has penetrated less than 1% of the global population. In fact, Ayurveda always, within the Western world, Eastern world, globally, is considered to be an alternative medicine, despite the fact that Ayurveda has given the concept of medicine to this planet. It is allopathy, or the Western medicine, is the first frame or front frame medicine, not Ayurveda. So we're going to dissect why it has been like that, why it is important. It's not a competition by any stretch. Don't make no mistakes. It's important to dissect the value that Ayurveda medicine can bring about only if we injected science, scientific principles in Ayurveda. This can do so much good to humanity. Okay. So in other words, my talk is going to focus on how important it is for different modalities to coexist. My talk is not about criticizing Western medicine versus Ayurvedic medicine. That way, nobody will win. The whole approach here is how can we take the wisdom and the power of Ayurvedic medicine to help humanity across the globe? How can we make this medical modality coexist with Western medicine? I don't want to spend too much time. Genesis of medicine, I already talked about it. It all started with Ayurvedic medicine, but the bridge between the Western medicine and the Eastern medicine, particularly the Ayurvedic medicine, has been broken because we do not see doctors across the world prescribing Ayurvedic medical products or practicing Ayurvedic medicine modality for treating different diseases and disorders. There are reasons for that. It's not that anybody has ignored Ayurvedic medicine. Ayurvedic medicine has fallen behind from early part of the 19th century. Ayurvedic medicine did not receive the kind of investment that the Western medicine received from the investors. There are many, many reasons. But the point is, the time has come for us to recognize the value Ayurvedic medicine brings to humanity, and this value cannot be realized, the potential cannot be realized without injecting science and technology into Ayurvedic medicine. This talk is about How do we do that? Let's go back to the days of Shushruta. I'm taking you about 5,000 plus years back. This is kind of an interesting journey for us. But Sri Prabhakar Kalyam practices this every day. Actually, he is a Shastra Pandit. He knows the wisdom of Shastra. He knows what Shastra bring about, to our planet. So just a quick glimpse of what Shushruta was doing. Ayurvedic Shastras, in Ayurvedic Shastras, they describe various drug formulations of different origins, herbal, metal, or sometimes metal, but sometimes animals, but mostly herbal and metals. In addition to course of conduct, how do we behave? How do we lead our life? As well as life with the dietary restrictions, regulations, which are important tools to maintain health in healthy, as well as for healthy human beings, as well as for eradicating or treating diseases. And Shushruta clearly states metallic preparations in healthcare as a unique feature in the Ayurvedic system of medicine. And in Shastra, there is mentioned that processes including metals, which include mercury, gold, silver, lead, zinc, copper, and a host of metals, they were actually used very frequently by the Pandits, Ayurveda Pandits, within the Indian tradition of Ayurvedic medicine. And it's generally claimed that these metals are detoxified during the highly complex manufacturing process. And there are lots of these things described in Ayurvedic, especially in Rasa Shastra texts. Charaka Samhita, one of the scheduled books of Ayurveda, also holds ample examples regarding the use of metals along with herbs for treating different diseases. What I'm going to do, or the rest of my talk, is to apply a reverse engineering process. It's a reverse engineering process because it would be wrong for us to claim that we have discovered everything, because there is a wealth of knowledge from our Vedic Shastras. Ayurvedic medicine describes lots of things. What Ayurvedic medicine, even according to the Pandits, what Ayurvedic medicine doesn't describe are the reproducibility of Ayurvedic formulations. It's unfortunately not there. Ayurvedic Shastra also doesn't quite mention in acceptable terms, scientifically acceptable terms, the mechanism of action. That's the reason, no wonder that Ayurvedic medicines developed from one company cannot be reproduced in another company within the same country, let alone reproducing formulations in another country. And Ayurvedic medicine doses, they are not well defined. All of that is relevant to have predictability features for Ayurvedic medicine. So what is lacking in Ayurvedic medicine? This is after extensive research in collaborations with varieties of Ayurvedic doctors. The predictability factor that is there in allopathic medicine is simply not there in Ayurvedic medicine. There are several reasons. The three main reasons are: if formulations cannot be reproduced, you can't reproduce the clinical results. If you don't know the mechanism of action, your predictability factor will have limited confidence factor. And then very limited animal studies were done before getting into humans. So what we're going to do over the next 30 minutes is that we are going to use the wisdom and the knowledge of Ayurvedic medicine, develop reproducible formulations, understand the mechanism in animals, and then develop proper doses, and then retest, after testing in animals, retest those formulations in humans. That's why it's kind of a reverse engineering process. This is the genesis of Nano-Ayurvedic medicine. Let me move this one here. Okay. I'll come down all over here. Yeah, this is the genesis of Ayurvedic medicine. What we discovered very serendipitously was, without getting into the nitty-gritties of nanotechnology, that's not the intent of our talk today. Whenever a nanoparticle of any metal has to be produced, the process involves injecting electrons into metal precursors. If you ask me how the industry globally produces nanoparticles of gold, palladium, platinum, silver, and so forth, they use very toxic chemicals. And if you didn't know, pharma industry globally over the last 15 years, they have contributed more to global warming than the auto industry. This is something that may come as a surprise. Yes, it's a fact. Pharma industry contributes more to global warming than the global auto industry. They go through so many toxic chemicals, toxic processes, and so forth. So here you're going to see the wisdom of Ayurvedic medicine, if properly developed. It contributes zero or perhaps even carbon net negative. Think about the power of Ayurvedic medicine. Think about the knowledge base our ancestors had dating back to 5,000 plus years ago. So what we discovered serendipitously was that these Ayurvedically relevant plants like the tea leaves, the mango, grapes, or the cloves, they have lots of electrons. This may come as a surprise. Yes, the phytochemicals in these plants, as shown here, epigallocatechin gallate from tea, mangiferin from mango, resveratrol from grapes, cloves from eugenol, and a host of other phytochemicals which we have researched within our lab for the last 30 years. They all contain electrons. They're rich in electrons. Rather than use toxic chemicals to produce nanoparticles, we used electrons from Mother Nature, described in our Shastra, to interact those electrons with gold precursor, and then that led to the production of gold nanoparticles. It may sound like a scientific scintillation, although scientists get excited, but majority of these processes have been scaled up at the industrial levels. So our nano-Ayurvedic concept has been widely accepted globally now. In some way, what Shushruta was doing 5,000 plus years ago, he was, along with his Ayurvedic Pandits, he was mixing cocktail of herbs with metals and producing, if you didn't know, it is not stated in Shastra, although the concept of Anu or the atom is there in Shastra. He was essentially producing nanoparticles, and we have decoded that. So that's why I use this very carefully, decoding Shushruta, and we actually produced these gold nanoparticles of different kind, and each nanoparticle is encapsulated with these individual phytochemicals, and that distinguishes each nanoparticle from another, and they play important roles in treating different cancers, different diseases, and this is what we call it as the genesis of nano-Ayurvedic medicine. Okay. This is what has brought connectivity between nano technology and Ayurvedic medicine. We use only plant-based herbs, mix them with metal precursors, use the electrons from plants. These plants are defined in Ayurveda, and then we produce well-defined nanoparticles. As I just now stated, this has been scaled up to industrial levels. It's actually a net zero carbon. We thought it's a zero carbon footprint process because these phytochemicals, what I showed you from mango, they're present in the peel. More phytochemicals are in the peel than in the pulp. And peel, as all of us recognize, is a byproduct. That's the reason why this process, in fact, is now referred to as a net carbon negative process. The global pharma industry contributes to global warming. The nano-Ayurvedic approach based on Ayurveda medicine has a net carbon negative footprint to our planet. Just think about the the magnanimity and the power of our ancient Shastra-based medicine. And these particles, nanoparticles, they do not produce carbon emission, which majority of the global industry produces, whether it is through nanoparticles or through any other pharmaceutical that's being manufactured. And this process has been scaled up, has been licensed to different companies, and now we are producing these particles on an industrial scale. Everything has a very powerful Indic wisdom, as pointed out by Sri Prabhakar Kalyam. It is Shastra based, but the difference is it has tremendous scientific rationale, which is something you're going to see over the next few slides. We looked at another plant very dear to the hearts of all of us, because it is dear to the heart of Lord Krishna. Krishna loved Kadamba tree. We have been able to dissect what are there in Kadamba tree. Our interest was to see if the Kadamba leaves are rich in electrons. It turned out that this tree is rich in electrons. We extracted the phytochemicals from the leaves and produced well-defined gold nanoparticles. These gold nanoparticles are encapsulated with the phytochemicals that Lord Krishna liked long time ago. And these individual nanoparticles are encapsulated with Kadamba tree phytochemicals. They look like this. This is the metallic component of gold. And what you see around the metallic component are the Kadamba cocktail of phytochemicals. We have studied every single phytochemical, how it contributes to cancer therapy. I'm not going to get into the details. We have given scientific rationale. What is that particular phytochemical that contributes to immunomodulation? What is that particular phytochemical that brings down the toxicity and so forth? We have studied all of that, but just for this presentation, just to show you, these particles were developed in Missouri, the medical school. They have been reproduced in Bengaluru, has been scaled up. The technology has been licensed to a company, and these particles are stable. Again, the intent of this today's talk is to provide more about the depth of Vedic wisdom rather than get into the scientific nitty-gritties, but just to show you for completeness that these particles are stable in all the biological fluids of the human body. What this tells us is that Kadamba-based gold nanoparticles can be used for various different applications in medicine. Some examples here. This is an example of looking at the potential of using Kadamba-based gold nanoparticles for treating multiple myeloma. Very effective in terms of its efficacy. And also, when you look at the toxicity of Kadamba-based gold nanoparticles, when you compare that with the FDA-approved cancer drug, which is the cisplatin, cisplatin kills close to 100% of normal cells in the body. Cisplatin really kills 100% of normal cells in the body. Kadamba-based gold nanoparticles, they hardly kill any normal cells in the body. Kadamba-based gold nanoparticles have selective toxicity only to the cancer cells. Sounds like a fairy tale. That's why we are bringing this scientific rationale. What you're seeing here is the tendency of these nanoparticles to get into tumor cells. They don't go to normal cells at all. That defines the selectivity. And we also studied the immunomodulatory features of Kadamba nanoparticles. The definition of immunomodulation in our today's context is Ayurveda has defined in terms of its power as a modality for treating the whole body. It doesn't matter whether it is a cancer, arthritis, diabetes. It doesn't matter what kind of cancer. Administering Ayurveda modality in a proper way gives the body the strength to fight the disease. That's what we have tested here. We have tested the power of Kadamba-based gold nanoparticles, their tendency to target the macrophage. Just for today's reference, macrophage in the context of cancer therapy, macrophage is like the engine of a car. For you to stop the car, you have to stop the engine. So Kadamba-based nanoparticles really target the macrophage. As you can see here, abundance of these nanoparticles targeting the macrophages. 264.7 macrophage is generally considered to be a pro-tumor macrophage. If you don't hit this macrophage hard during cancer therapy, if you only destroyed cancer cells, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, the disease comes back, and we have often seen our friends and relatives, they get the advice from the doctor after a few months or after a year of treatment and surgery that the tumor levels have gone down. But unfortunately, in many instances, patients go back to the doctor because they see the onset of tumor into other organs. The main reason for that is that most of the cancer therapies do not target the macrophages. The Kadamba-based gold nanoparticles of Ayurveda Shastra origin target the macrophages beautifully. The fact that they target the macrophages so well, it completely destroys the tumor, gives no chance for the tumor to regrow. Again, I want to re-emphasize again and again here, look at the power of Ayurvedic medicine. Yet, we don't see this modality spread across India, spread across the world for human care and treatment. And things are about to change. They're about to change because we are giving the scientific rationale to this whole modality. It's multiple myeloma we have done. We have done various different examples of different cancers. Let me go to the, it's prostate cancer, the same story, targets the macrophages in prostate cancer cells, completely eliminates the disease. This is the FDA-approved product. You can see the amount of normal cell death with the FDA-approved product. With the Kadamba-based nanoparticles, there's hardly any destruction of normal cells. This story continues for breast cancer, targets the macrophages in breast cancer. Toxicity to normal cells is not a concern. Toxicity to normal cells with the FDA-approved product is a concern, and it's widely accepted now that many of the Western medicines, especially the cisplatin, patients may be dying not so much because of the disease. Patients may not be dying because of the cancer. There are lots of evidences showing that patients died because of the toxicity of FDA-approved products. In this context, this nano-Ayurvedic medicine products are a huge advantage to the global cancer community, to the global medical community at large. I want to show you one example where we treated the human triple-negative breast cancer patients. We took this example for a reason. We took this example because we wanted to show the power of nano-Ayurvedic medicine in cases where the Western medicine, allopathic medicine, has really failed. So there are two groups of patients. One group of patients received nano-Ayurvedic medicine alongside an FDA-approved product. Here we used doxorubicin. This protocol was approved by the regulatory agency. This is pre-treatment. This is the tumor burden. After 90 days of treatment with the nano-Ayurvedic medicine as well as doxorubicin, you can see there is a reduction in tumor volume to the tune of 8 to 10%. It might sound that this reduction is not substantial. These are triple-negative breast cancer patients. They have gone through all treatment modalities. Generally speaking, the disease has become drug-resistant. So if you can arrest the growth of tumors, it's a great achievement. But we not only have arrested the growth of the disease, we're also showing there's a reduction in the tumor burden. Most importantly, the quality of lives of patients improved drastically, their social lives improved, their eating habits improved, They did not lose their weight during the period of treatment. So this is one set of patients. This study becomes significantly more meaningful when you compare these results with those patients who were administered only the FDA-approved product, which is the doxorubicin. This is the pre-treatment tumor burden. Post-treatment with the FDA-approved product, as you can see here, the tumor burden doubled, tripled, in some instances quadrupled. Quality of patients' lives was miserable. We unfortunately lost some patients. Their body weight, they lost body weight. Eating habits were less than moderate. Of course, they could not get out and mingle with their friends and relatives because of the pain, because of the discomfort, all due to the tumor burden. So when you compare these results with only the FDA-approved treatment, I don't need to re-emphasize the power of Nano-Ayurvedic medicine. The chemotherapy, the disease, the residues of the disease still remain. With the chemotherapy plus the Nano-Ayurvedic medicine, the patient, it's not just the patient's survival, the quality of life improved drastically. There was another case, the word of mouth is spreading across the world now. There was another case that was treated. All of this treatment, by the way, has happened through proper regulatory authorities. Stage 4 ovarian cancer patient, a celebrity in India, couldn't name the name here. The immunomodulatory Nano-Ayurvedic medicine treated the patient. This is pre-treatment. You can see lesions of stage 4 ovarian cancer. Pre-treatment, you can see substantial lesions here. Post-treatment, there's no trace of the disease in the patient. So these are not fairy tales. These are actual happenings we continue to see within a vast patient population. When I say patient population, if the World Health Organization, if you look at their forecast, recent forecast, WHO states that over 80% of the global population, they would like to use herbal medicine. They would like to use Ayurvedic medicine for the care and treatment of various diseases and disorders. But we are not there to rely completely on Ayurvedic medicine. As I said, there are situations wherein reproducibility of clinical data, reproducibility of formulations, mechanism of how this medical modality works, all of that still needs tremendous knowledge base. And I'm very pleased to tell all of you today that by the intervention of green nanotechnology into Ayurvedic medicine, we are able to develop that knowledge base. We are able to enhance the confidence levels of not just the scientists, but the patients who would be treated with this medical modality. The last section, Sri Prabhakar, Dr. Prabhakar and Prasad, how much more time I have?
You can take another 5-10 minutes, please.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm almost there. Generally speaking, no lecture related to medicine in modern times is complete without addressing if we have made any progress in pandemics. I hope the pandemic is long gone. I hope we don't get it back again, another pandemic, but there's no guarantee. So what happened during the most recent pandemic, just imagine if we were to have the luxury of another alternative medicine, such as Ayurvedic medicine, taking care of these pandemic patients, COVID-19 patients. In all probability, we could have saved human lives substantially. We all rely on one medical modality. The mathematics doesn't work like that. The probability theory is all about enhancing the probability of success. Okay, so that's why it's important to develop Ayurvedic medicine to the level that we can rely upon this medical modality. And this is an approach we have taken, where we have developed Nano-Ayurvedic medicine silver nanoparticles, which have shown tremendous efficacy for deadly pathogens, as shown here. Candida albicans just takes 0.31 microgram per ml. Candida albicans can be completely neutralized in water, in food, wherever it needs to be neutralized. Staph bacteria, if it infects human patients, generally it happens on hospital beds. There are no antibiotics available now. Third generation antibiotics fail when it comes to treating infections in patients with staph bacteria. Just look at how effectively this agent performs. This agent performs as great as the FDA-approved levofloxacin. The difference is bacteria have already mutated against levofloxacin, whereas with the silver nanoparticles, there is no chance for mutation. So here is a very effective antibiotic for treating staph infections. Another deadly bacteria, it's the same story. I know I'm running out of time. E. coli, and we have numerous such products already developed for treating eye infections, for treating urinary tract infections. We have in fact treated patients on hospital beds where doctors declared that they could not handle pneumonia patients in India, and the company in India to whom we have licensed these technologies, they have helped these patients save lives of pneumonia patients. The last couple of slides is about COVID. All of us know very well about the COVID virus. It makes its entry into normal cells through these spike proteins. Our silver nanoparticles have shown that they can effectively encapsulate the COVID virus and thus stop the entry of the COVID virus into the healthy cells. This is not just a scientific curiosity. People in India have been benefited. Hundreds of thousands of patients who were infected with COVID-19 within 24 to 48 hours, they showed from being positive to COVID virus to negative within 24 to 48 hours of treatment. One of the last slides I want to show here, if you're wondering what is the toxicity load of these nanoparticles, if it is gold, Kadamba's Rasayana, Kadamba's gold nanoparticles, they do not target the important organs. If you take Swarna Bhasma from any of the Ayurvedic pharmacies, it shows a huge amount of uptake in the kidney. Whereas the Swarna Rasayana from Kadamba, there is zero uptake in the kidney, so there is no toxicity burden to the body. There are a lot of innovations in nanotechnology. Many of them have led to space science, electronics, computation, artificial intelligence. Our approach is that we really focused on applying nanotechnology to medicine, and that led to the development of Nano-Ayurvedic medicine. We've been very, very fortunate with that. And the first ever global patent on Nano-Ayurvedic medicine was granted to us this year on January 10, 2023. Again, it's a collective effort from every member of my group. I'm just a spokesperson. Everybody has contributed so much. But the good news is it's a great news for everybody. It's a great news for our whole world that we have started to realize the huge therapeutic potential of Ayurvedic medicine by this intervention of green nanotechnology into Ayurvedic medicine. I think we are able to build this bridge, which was broken for hundreds of years, which means that the patients now have the advantage. Patients now have the luxury of choosing the modality based on the disease. Patients, that's exactly what the any medical modality is all about. It's not about the medical modality. Treatment is all about patient-centric. It's not that one medical modality has to be better than the other. At the end of the day, doctors will look at what medical modality will save the lives of their patients. In this context, this bridge will serve humanity for a long time. That's our hope. And we also hope that thousands and thousands of Ayurvedic medical doctors will soon realize what they have been educated, what they have been practicing has tremendous relevance in saving lives across the world. Basically, I want to conclude at this stage, Nano-Ayurvedic medicine provides universally by the intervention of nanotechnology into Ayurveda, now we are able to build universally acceptable scientific rationale to Ayurvedic medicine, which was missing for almost 5,000 years ago. Green nanotechnology, therefore, should be considered as the scientific driver to understand and provide scientific meaning to Ayurvedic modality. 6th century BC to 7th century AD, called as the Samhita period. However, nano-Ayurvedic medicine developed in the 21st century through green nanotechnology, in my opinion, should be considered as a genesis of a new medical modality built through Indic wisdom. Make no mistake, it's all built through powerful Indic wisdom with the sole objective of serving humanity across our planets. Products from nano-Ayurvedic medicine are used for treating cancer, various deadly infections, arthritis, as well as the next generation of cosmetics as well. With that, I would like to thank lots of people, lots of collaborators from MU, or 50 past students, 30 postdoctoral fellows. This is not a 1 year or a 2 year work, as I told you at the beginning of my talk. It has taken a long time. We're very pleased at the end of all of it. We're able to attribute such a universally acceptable scientific rationale to Ayurvedic medicine. Lots of international collaborators. I would like to thank Kavita, who is joining today from India. She has been instrumental in all the 34 years, being my life partner, as well as contributing intellectually into every aspect of what I discussed today. I'd like to thank the funding agencies who have been very generous over the last 3.5 decades, doing Ayurvedic medicine in the Western Hemisphere. Sometimes people say it's a significant challenge. If it has a strong scientific rationale, you can do it everywhere, including in the Western Hemisphere. With that, I think I will conclude. I'm sure there may be some comments, questions. I'm here to answer. I'm here to respond to all your questions and comments. Again, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you all those who have joined today.
Thank you, Dr. Kattesh, and it's remarkable work, very impactful, and what you present, I know, is a very, very small portion of the, of enormous contributions you've done and the impact you're making. So thank you so much for sharing it. I know there are lots of questions and discussions. We have other experts also who will chime in and have clarification, but Purushottam said you have a question. Do you want to ask it, or you want to read it out from the chat?
Yeah, thank you so much. My name is Purushottam, calling from Bengaluru. It's a very exciting talk, very promising, and very difficult to explain how a scientifically approached person with a lot of faith in the classical medicine will feel when it is approved using the right methods of the modern medicine. My main question is, I understood that you mentioned that the Ayurvedic medicine is not reproducible. If one pharmacist makes a same drug as made by another, there is a possibility of both being not the same, or this is not reproducible. That's what I understood. Have I understood right? And
your understanding is very accurate.
Okay, so why it can't be, if the same formula is used, same process is deployed, and everybody is doing the same work. Why is it that the same results are not coming?
Yeah, this question requires a lot of dissecting. I don't know where you reside. If you're in India, we can talk more about it. But I will tell you in a nutshell. We did analyze just one example I'm giving you. Swarna Bhasma, we bought it from 6 different sources from India. And we did the neutron activation analysis, which is the ultimate in analyzing any pharmaceutical. And all the 6 products were completely different, actually. Their formulations were very, very different. Okay. Now I'll give you an example. Ibuprofen or cisplatin or doxorubicin. Many of them have become generic drugs now. It's manufactured in all various different global locations. Try to analyze the same product from 10 different sources. You'll see exactly the same result, exact. Okay. So that's the requirement of the 21st century. Reproducibility is at the core of evidence-based medicine. If the formulations cannot be reproduced, you can't predict clinical outcome from patients. If you're giving A and B as different products to different sets of population, how would you expect a reliable clinical outcome? And this is a problem we have solved. We have told the Ayurvedic community across the world, if you want to use Swarna Bhasma, come to us. We'll give you every time 99.999% gold nano-based Swarna Bhasma. The formulation remains exactly the same, whether you do it in the US, South Africa, Brazil, or India. And we have done in all these countries. And we continue to do that.
So can we say that if there is a good regulation by the government, like other medicines or like allopathic medicines, it is possible for us to get the same type of product from different pharmacists, and therefore we are safe? Well, I understand that doing the reverse engineering is necessary to understand the scientific basis, how we came up with these drugs. For a faster benefit, as long as the process is correct, Swarna Bhasma is prepared as per the standard regulations. If that is done, then probably we will not have these different results, and more people can be saved in a short time.
Yeah, a regulation has to be there, no question about it. But again, remember, I'm not here to criticize one modality or the other. That's not the whole idea. To inject science so that reproducibility becomes reliable and there's a global acceptance. That's the only way global acceptance can happen. Ultimately, all aimed at saving human lives. Now, Swarna Bhasma, according to Shastras, with due respect to Shastras, has utilized, the formulation has utilized mercury. And over the last 200 years, we know a certain percentage of mercury in the body can be really debilitating to the human body. Ayurveda Shastra may still say mercury does this good, that good, but we have to move with the tide. When there is a growing evidence that presence of mercury can lead to debilitating, untreatable diseases, we are not supposed to add mercury. That's it. So that's another care we have taken. When we formulated Swarna Rasayana through nanoparticles, we made sure we had only Ayurvedically defined herbs, no other metal, no mercury, just the gold. And the evidence is there in our formulations. We have all the scientific principles that are available on the planet we have used to show the purity of our products. And again, I want to re-emphasize, products produced in Missouri, in the US, are replicable in Bangalore one-on-one all the time.
Great.
Thank you very much. And so now Dr. Gopichand has some question. Please, Gopichand, is also an internist, retired doctor, Victoria Hospital. Are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here, sir. So I have already posted some questions in this one chat box. Just to sir, good evening, sir. Sorry, good morning to Dr. Kattesh or something, Kattesh Katti. I just want to know whether you are from the clinical side or from the pharma section. And
No, I was trained as a chemist by the #1 ranked research institution in the world, the Indian Institute of Science.
okay,
But
you
I
are from
spent the
Bengaluru.
last 30 years in the medical school, so 30 plus years in the medical school. So my work is all focused on medical research.
Okay, sir. So now, what is the cost of nanotherapy, sir? In India, is it available?
Oh yeah, it is
Or
available. Kadamba is the name of the company which has licensed our technologies, and they are mass manufacturing them. And the cost, I can't quote a cost on online. All I can tell you it is fraction of the cost that what it would cost to go through chemotherapy.
Okay, is it this things are administered orally, or is it
Orally. All the
oral?
formulations are orally administered.
Orally, okay. What you suggested, that it is a patient patient centric. That is a very good thing what you have mentioned. And is there any tie-up with the medical institutions here in Karnataka, India, or Bangalore? Something?
Yeah,
Or
they
who
are
to contact here?
they're doing a few things. Lots of institutions have come forward, and the leadership in Kadamba company, they're considering tie-ups with many medical institutions.
Where is this Kadamba, sir? Is it in Karnataka?
It is in Bengaluru, Karnataka. It is in Jayanagar area.
Oh, I see. Okay. We are not going to be staying in Bangalore. We have not come across that thing. So
Yeah, it is there.
There is a premier institution of called Kidwai Cancer Institute in Bangalore. I think they have got a cancer registry. They maintain that cancer registry. I don't know. One of my some classmate is also a cancer specialist. I will tell him if there is any this thing.
Yeah.
They can take up about this.
Yeah.
Okay. That Kadamba people are approachable or something like that.
Oh,
Or
absolutely. Oh yeah, very much approachable.
There is
And
no this
they
thing.
have again, the leadership has a vision. They licensed the technology from the University of Missouri. There were a lot of bids for that, but I'm so fortunate that we are also fortunate that Kadamba, with its huge vision, licensed the technology. And they're not just sitting with the technology, they're implementing it. They have done huge amount of internal investments, all with the objective of making it available to patients.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks. So now I request Dr. Neeraj Arora is also trying to harmonize in Western, allopathy and Ayurveda is making some studies. I request he's also he's a neurologist and in Missouri only. Welcome, sir. Please make some.
Thank you, Professor Prabhakarji. And thank you, Dr. Katti. I have been, I would say it is my privilege to have a few words of question from you. Now, I would first thank you for this wonderful talk and all the information that you have provided to us. It was very insightful. I was thinking that your name should be like a modern day Dhanvantari instead of just the father of nanotechnology. So
I'm just a small human being trying to do what I'm able to do.
Maybe it was a previous birth in Dhanvantari and this birth in.
Thank you, Dr. Neeraj. Thank you, Dr. Neeraj.
Okay, so the whole process is so interesting, and we have lost a lot of information through this generations, the Ayurvedic knowledge that we have lost. Now, when we say that this is not reproducible, but Dhanvantari at that time must be reproducing it. It's just we do not know right now.
Exactly. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I think you're right, and Dr. Prabhakar Kalyam also will agree with that. Much of our Vedas are not written up, so it was up to us to develop technologies to reproduce. As I said in the beginning of my talk, it was up to us to invest to bring Ayurveda where it should have been. We haven't done that. So you're very, very accurate. Dhanvantri knew exactly every time when it was done. I'm 100% sure that he was getting the exact same formulation.
Yeah. So where do we see right now, because we have lost that knowledge? If something is lost, we have to recreate, and this is like just one step forward. And now, in order to take this to the actual clinical practice, will take several more years. So from your vision point of view, Kadamba is doing a great thing, and with a collaboration that will be really useful. But still, what is your vision in regards to like how will all be implemented in clinical practice?
It's a very good question, Dr. Neeraj, you're asking. Obviously, you're such a great doctor. I can brag about you. I'm glad that you're part of our institution. This was a question that was asked in the G20 summit. What do we do with the wisdom we have through Ayurvedic medicine? Now that we know where we failed, without a question, what do we do to reconquer the wealth of knowledge, the depth of medical knowledge, which started from India and surrounding areas? We agreed in the G20 summit that always, Dr. Neeraj, when we say collaboration in our institution, you know that you and I collaborate. We always think collaborating with a scientist, engineer, medical doctor goes on and on, right? Scientists need to be collaborating with the Shastra Pandits. We have never considered that. Okay, because that's the only way you build this knowledge from where it is. Shastra Pandits like Pravachana Malika Sep and many others in India, they have a depth of knowledge which we don't have. I don't have. And that collaboration has to spur up. That collaboration, if it requires strategic investment by the government, this was a recommendation they asked me. They asked me, what recommendation do I make to the G20 summit, to the Prime Minister's office? And I categorically told them that this collaboration hasn't started. I haven't seen scientists collaborating with Vedic Pandits. Why not? We should start doing that, because it has everything about neurology, about infections, about cancer. Our Vedic knowledge is so profound. I feel so great to be of Indian origin. It's a very profound body of knowledge. We have only understood a teeny tiny bit of that. Why we have not invested our time and money into understanding that? Now is the time for that.
That's right, Dr. Katti. So in the same regards, I have to say, like when I talk some of my friends, physicians in India, they do not regard even Ayurvedic as a treatment. But on the other side, good side is like I have some Ayurvedic friends also who are very much interested in doing the trials. So I would take that as a positive side, and so I'm working in like a stroke in order to like see where we can start the processes. Since this Ayurveda is already established, the question is they want to do all the clinical trials, but my question is like, for example, if you know that ibuprofen works, right, for pain, do we need a trial in alternative medicine? No. Exactly. Then if we know that Ayurvedic works, then why do we need a trial in the classical clinical medicine right now? So that is a big dilemma in the modern era, that we want to prove everything. So I don't know how we take this, but what is your thought?
Dr. Neeraj, you're making such a vital point, I'll tell you, because let's all accept this whole concept of clinical trials. Where did it come from? It did not come from the origin of medicine, which happened through Ayurveda. It came from the allopathic medicine. So is it relevant for Ayurveda? My short answer to that question is no. Ayurveda is a whole different wisdom, whole different knowledge base. It's a process of treating the whole body. Such a concept doesn't exist anywhere in any other modality. So if that concept doesn't exist, how can you force principles of some other modality on Ayurveda? you should not. It does disservice to Ayurveda. So Ayurveda has its own way of understanding clinical outcome, which is well established, and we should follow that. Generally speaking, it's a 90-day treatment without too much of those bottlenecks, I have to tell, and it works very beautifully. But again, let's all emphasize, we have got to understand the scientific rationale of Ayurvedic medicine. If we didn't do that, if we failed in doing that, we'll still be, it will be another 5,000 years before we wake up. So the time has come to appreciate what science can unravel through Ayurveda. We're using the exact same universally acceptable Western scientific principles. If somebody calls a product as immunomodulatory, allopathic product, FDA-approved product, which is immunomodulatory, we have to use all the biomarkers that they have used in proving that Ayurvedic medicine is also an equally powerful immunomodulatory medicine. There is no escape from that. We've got to follow that.
Thank you very much, sir, for Dr. Nirvana, because we are trying to explore the importance of Ayurveda, and there are so many doctors and all that practicing and also showing results. But as Dr. Katti mentioned, it is Adhyayana, which is the source for all these things. And there are Bhaishajyani mantras are there, the interpretations are there. And you are correct that the scientists must also be in touch with the Vedic Pandits. They will be able to explain, and your faculty will become bright and thinking will be different. That's exactly what I am always telling whenever I teach mantras. Dr. Gopichand is here, a sincere student, and he has been a student of internist, but he wanted to experiment what would be the effect of the Gayatri mantra on the brain. So he has started a project. So like that, the mantras are there, and moreover, Atharvaveda contains various symptoms for the symptomatic conditions like cough or headache or fever. They are not diseases, as you all say, but they indicate the body status. So body, mind, and spirit, all these three things cover in our Vedic mantras. And it's really an important subject. I have asked several other doctors, Ayurveda doctors also to join. Probably they must have all joined in different places. So this is a wonderful topic and discussion, and Dr. Kattesh is introducing that into the world of Vedic studies. Also to the Adhyayana Kendra, a multidisciplinary society where we can get all subjects into that and discussion. Very fine, sir. And again, we have got another great neurologist who is also conversant, Dr. Papaya Garu from Springfield. And he is also there. And Chandra Reddy is there. Probably you must have heard his name. He is a cancer specialist and retired. And recently he got MD degree. Chandra Reddy Garu, are you there? Just having a word or two.
Yes. Namaste. I'm here. Thank you. So first of all, Dr. Katti, it was very inspiring and positive and complementary to the modern medicine about this Ayurveda. I had an opportunity to do the Ayurveda when I did 25 years of medical oncology practice, Indiana, here in USA. And because of the burnout and also limitations in the medical oncology, and my always interest was in Ayurveda, because we did some Ayurveda with the Maharshi International University. We did research, clinical research, the effect of the meditation on the cancer patient's outcome in the results of given modern treatments. And that inspired me to do a master's program at Maharshi International University. And I did that 3 years of program, and also I had an opportunity to do a very new program by Dr. Tony Nader. It's consciousness studies. So I became a consciousness advisor also on that. So with that background, Dr. Katti, I'm sorry, my sincere apologies, Sri Prabhakar Garu. I could not join in the beginning because of the computer glitch, and I joined Dr. Katti's excellent talk only the last 15 minutes. And my knowledge in the Ayurveda is equivalent to the drop in the ocean. So with that one, I think the fundamental principles of Ayurveda, as you know, according to the Maharshi International University, particularly Mahesh Yogi, he has modernized Ayurvedic medicine with strongly scientific support of fundamental principles of Ayurveda with the 3Ds, the diet and digest as well as the daily habits. And there is a kind of principle. The fundamental principle is, if there is a regular, systematic, and followed by a Vedic dictum, if there is a regular diet, digestion, and daily habits, the herbs are no use. Whereas if you are following, suppose if you are not following these things, no amount of medicine, either modern or the herbal medicines, will not work if you are not following those 3Ds. So with that fundamental principles, what I learned is that there is a lack of understanding between the modern medicine and the Ayurvedic medicine. And there is a lot of negative feedback in the beginning, I think in the early 70s, that because of the metallic product, and they downgraded this Ayurveda, and there is a lot of resistance in then. So one of the things that attracted me is that this modern medicine has been explained with the two fundamental principles again, with the unified field of energy to the unified field of absolute consciousness. When they did Mahesh Yogi, I think I a little bit more comment on this one, but I have a question for you, sir. Is that when the Ayurvedic medicine explained the 8 organ systems that of the modern medicine to the mandalas of our Rigveda, with the 1 to 10 mandalas, 1 being the Prakriti and 10th being the Purusha, with the unified. As you mentioned earlier, whole is more important than the part. Modern medicine, treats the part, whereas the Ayurvedic medicine is the whole system. So I think in order to get any long-term results, even in our life from the childhood to the retirement age, it is the wholeness that, from the cell to the whole organ level. So for example, the mandala 2 is equivalent to the musculoskeletal system, which is made of the muscles and other things, to the earth element. And the cardiovascular system, the third one, is equivalent to our cardiovascular system, equivalent to the water. Like that, all 5 elements, and then mind and intellect, and then ahankara, with this 10 being that as a whole. So I think when we correspond to this one and treating this all, we realize that Ayurveda is a preventive as also maintenance of the thing. And it's not in the modern period with the declining values and declining changes in the diet. This is not useful in the acute therapy. If we can, the modern medicine as well as the Ayurvedic medicine or other complementary medicine, if we combine the research on that one, I think with the acute treatment and the complementary preventive and kind of maintenance. So my question to you, sir, what do you, in your years of practice in the clinical research as well as the kind of NIH and all those things, what do you think? What is the resistant factors coming from the modern medicine or the people that you come across, particularly in the USA? What are the resistant factors?
Yeah, I don't believe there are factors that would serve as bottlenecks as we make progress in Ayurvedic medicine, as long as we show precisely the scientific rationale with which this research is being carried out. On the other hand, if we continue to state that Ayurvedic medicine has done this, has done that, it is a historic, it is from Shastra origin, without giving rigorously tested scientific evidence, it's not going to go anywhere. So the way we pursued where when we took simple examples, Swarna Bhasma we took, there are lots of attributes of Swarna Bhasma in Shastra literature, collaborated with Ayurveda Pandits. But we could not use the traditional Swarna Bhasma that is sold by different companies because that contained toxic metals. 30, 40, 50% of what is there in Swarna Bhasma could not be analyzed at all. It is called as intractable material, whatever that material is. So that's why we had to develop our own Swarna Bhasma. The Swarna Bhasma that can be reproduced every time you make it. Small scale, mega scale. A Swarna Bhasma that contained only Swarna, only gold and Ayurvedically defined herbs. Once we succeeded in doing that, then we started testing immunomodulatory power of Swarna Bhasma. Does that enhance IL-12 cytokine in the body? Does that suppress the bad cytokines like IL-6, IL-10? Does that suppress NF-kappa B, the main signaling pathway, which is pro-inflammatory signaling pathway? When we started doing step by step, then we realized the power of this Swarna Bhasma, which of course should be dating back to the Swarna Bhasma. In all probability, Shushruta had developed or through Dhanvantari's time. So now we can put our head up and tell, this is the Swarna Bhasma, go and test it out. So I'm telling you that because we recently got the data from a CRO. I cannot tell online. We just wanted to see what, it's always nice to say we did this, we did that, but at the end of the day, the data has to come from the people who would use it, right? In fact, their data is tremendously better than what we had thought. Yeah, it's just amazing. That just shows the power of power of Ayurvedic medicine, where we missed the boat in such a spectacular way. There's a lot of repair that needs to be done. As Dr. Neeraj put it, I still believe time is on our side. This is the Indic wisdom, the depth of our own wisdom. We haven't seen it yet. The time has come for us to realize that we are just focusing on medicine. There are many other areas of science and technology. It's all written up, but we need to take one by one.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, Dr. Katti. I think one other very enthusiastic and curiosity among the people is coming out of your nanotechnology and also the artificial intelligence. My strong feeling is that if you compare the artificial intelligence to the creative intelligence, which is original and which is eternal, that's the Vedic knowledge. And that Vedic knowledge is the only answer to the creative intelligence. The artificial intelligence can never, not even closer, to come to the creative intelligence. Ayurveda is such one. And this nanotechnology is a bridge, as you mentioned beautifully in the last 15 minutes I attended. I think, this has to be, having a connection to the medical schools. And I think we need to continue to build that bridge stronger and expanding this knowledge to the medical level, medical college level. I think that is one of the, and then also at the temples level, we have more than 1,000 temples in America and in the modern medical schools. If we can do the fundamental principles of this Ayurveda, along with this scientifically backed, kind of nanotechnology, I think Ayurveda is going to be forefront in near future.
Yeah,